What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, here for another episode of Rebels with a Cause. You know what time it is, baby. It's Wednesday night. It's time for that cause. Same cause, new year. We were out sick. Please. I had no voice. Poor Shane O'Mac had the same thing I did as well. But we are back, two pair. We are here. We're ready to talk some great things, all Rebel sports, baby, because you know what time it is. It's time for that cause. Rebels with a cause, because the cause don't stop when that clock hits zero. And let me tell you something, them boys Rebels right now, them Runnin Rebels, they running through it, baby. 3 wins in a row since that runner-up finish against Lipscomb. Didn't play the Catholic game because we had a mini snowmageddon, but damn it, they playing good, man. Devin Martin, woo! Jalen Hill, I see you, man. I see you. You were doing some work, and this team is really putting it together. I know Two Pair's real excited to talk about it once I bring him on, respectively. But, we got some house cleaning to do. We still got a lot of games coming up, too, that we got to talk about. First and foremost, though, the housekeeping business. Just remember, the views and opinions of this program are not affiliated with those of any other organization or of West High School. These are solely the views and opinions of the RWAC crew. Myself, the Italian Stallion, Two Pair Tate, Brian Tate, and our coach himself, Shane O'Mac. So, without further ado, and also, please join that chat box. Please point out when we've inaccurately said something, but also remember what you want to talk about also drives this show. We want to hit on, want your opinions. So please, baby, when you can, and definitely, whether you're watching live or recorded, hit that like and subscribe button. Spread the love, spread that cause, baby, because that's what we do every week here on that show. Also want to give a quick shout out to my boy, Mr. Alex Thatcher and his company, the Knoxville Coffee Company, that great brew there off of Sutherland Avenue in the heart of Marble City. Definitely go pay him a visit. Go get you some coffee. Definitely the perfect time, any time of the year, but especially for the cold, cold mornings, baby. I needed to wake up. I know that much. Also want to give a quick shout out and love to my gals Kim Castle and Rachel Davis over at King's Chamber. Go pay them a visit. They'll take care of you. Anything that you need. 2 tasty beverages. Tell them Rebels with a Cause sent you, and hopefully they'll get you a nice little discount there for those services and give you that royal treatment there over at the Chamber. So, and want to give some love to my guy, Two Pairs Big Fact Sports Network. Follow him there at 332 Studios. They cooking. They just warming up, baby. They got a lot going on, and I'm sure he'll be sharing it when he gets some time there on the mic. And also, guys, still, if you need some electrical needs done, he's there for you no matter what. This time of year, even though it's after the holidays, give Mr. Shane a call. He will hook you up and get you taken care of. That being said, let's bring my co-hosts on. And whether you're watching this live or recorded, hit that like and subscribe button, but also give the respect and proper admiration to my co-host. First, let's bring him on. He is Mr. 2003 West. He is now, for 19 years, the voice of the Runnin Rebels and Lady Rebels, and also doing the Panthers and Lady Panthers over at Pellissippi. He's got a new mic. He's definitely entertaining. Give him his love and admiration. My favorite Florida State Seminole. Bring him on now. The one, the only, Two Pair Tate, Brian Tate. What is up, baby? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm doing real good, man.
That's awesome. That is awesome, bud. I mean, I know that you got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about that boys basketball. Going to talk that football schedule. It got
Yeah.
released, and before we get started talking, I want to bring him on because he's been missing in action the last few weeks, and we've been missing him. But he's back. I want to bring him on. I know he's got a lot to say. Guys, if you need your needs. I've said that, but all in all, this is the dude that knows his stuff, his sports stats. Got a brand new job, so I'm really excited for him about that. A lot of good things coming for the RWAC crew in this beautiful new 20. So let's bring him on with the respect. Our coach, our favorite stats guy himself, Mr. Shane O'Mac, Shane McGee. How you doing, baby?
It is good to be back, fellas. It is good to be back. Finally
What's
healthy.
up, man?
We missed
Function
you.
as a human being again.
Glad to have you back, bud. Glad to have you back. So it's good that the crew's back together. It's a new year, same cause. But I mean, what do you guys want to talk first about? Do we want to talk college football? Do we
Same
want to talk
cause, baby.
Rebels? I mean, what do we want to talk about here, guys?
I feel like
Uh,
we got to get the West Side. We got to get the West Side football stuff talked about. Like, you know what I'm saying, and stuff about the new locker room. New, I mean, not new locker room, but new feet. We need
Yeah.
probably expanding that field house because there's a ton of football players that are going to be coming through those doors in the upcoming future. And for us to ensure that they're getting the proper conditioning, the proper treatment before and after games, it is vital that we need to expand the West Side facility. Like we really do in more ways than one because this school, these group of young men and individuals and also the flag football teams. You know what I'm saying? We need to expand stuff for that. Like we're becoming a bigger school than people realize, and the way that um, football is coming up, and the way flag football has been taking off for the women. Like this has been really big for women right now to be in flag football. Like this is a great time right now, guys. Like it is a great time for all West sports, but we really need to expand these facilities for those group of young men.
Absolutely. Shane, 147 players signed up right now. And so that's why we're trying to do some fundraising to expand the facilities. If you do want to make a donation, definitely let us know. We will get you that information. Football banquet's coming up February 8th. I'm going to be there. And also, it's going to be kind of the ending of last year's season that was such a success. Another region championship quarterfinal for a team that did phenomenal against probably one of the hardest schedules state. But they got a lot to prove probably in that weight room working towards that 3 out of 4, baby, because that's what I'm out of 4, just like them Nebraska teams in the mid '90s. So, and I'm missing not having a ring. I'm missing not another trophy behind me, but I'm sure that we'll get back there. But definitely need that fundraising to make sure that every player has a locker and get those facilities because, like Two Pair said, we're growing, and your programs are as good as your facilities are, and if you build it, not to sound cliche, they will come, honestly. So
I think we have 147 players signed up. Holy.
from freshmen for your rising your rising freshmen, sophomores and juniors and the 8th graders that are signed up, 147 total. So, and that's not counting if anybody else maybe moves into the area or anything like that. That's what I was told. So, yeah.
I mean, the facilities now are bigger than what we had when we were there.
Yes, yes. In fact, they're using our old locker room, I think, to house the freshmen, just because they only have 105 total lockers in the main field house.
They still get those ones built down there in the other weight room.
I think no, I think it's the one the soccer the boys soccer now uses the old field house. So yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I remember that we had some built down there in the bottom of the old weight room.
Of the old Doc Simpson weight room, yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, yeah, and apparently I think that flooded, according to Mr. Romero, and they had to get that fixed because of that flooding and so forth
Okay.
down there. So yeah, they had to clean that out. It was a mess, from what I understand. But baseball, getting ready for their season, and they're working out every day doing some things. I can't wait to see what they have to offer this year, and hopefully we can get them coaches on because they're a fan of the show. They've been following us on Twitter, so I want to
I
give a shout
saw
out to the
where they're
baseball.
needing some social media interns from students.
Yep, I saw that. I saw that too, and they're definitely going to need them and so forth, especially if they want to make a presence, because you got to know it's all about social media now, and you got to have
Yeah.
a presence and so forth when you're doing those things. So, but guys, let's talk real quick about football. I want to get to basketball because they've been doing some great things. Devin Martin and Jalen Hill. I mean, I can sing their praises on and on, but it's so much more going on than that. But the 2025 West football schedule came out, and this is the schedule. we'll have dates for you, but for right now, it's starting off again on a Saturday against Bearden High School. I don't know if the game's going to be televised or not, but from what I understand, they are going to be playing that on a Saturday in Bill Wilson Field. Then we go to Maryville, then we go to Central, then we go to then Alcoa comes to us. Then we go on the road to Campbell County. We're on the road to Halls. Clinton's at home. William Blunt's on the road. Carnes is our homecoming. It's a late homecoming this year. And then we finish up with senior night against Powell. And I believe that game will be the day before Halloween as the rivalry Thursday game, the last rivalry Thursday game of the year, probably for the title, probably for the region title, Shane, like it has been for
Yeah.
the last couple of years. No disrespect to the other teams, but it always seems you flip a coin. Is it Powell or West? And it's been West more times than Powell at the moment.
My son is going to be torn on that Carnes game.
Hey, it gives you an excuse to come to us. So
yeah, which means next year, well, the following year, you all come out here where I'm at.
That's right. That's right. So, yep, for sure. So,
I get the 6-minute drive home because it's literally 6 minutes from the football field to my front door.
Well, and I think mine would be 10 minutes from where I live over there because you've been to my house. So yeah,
Yep.
so I'm not that far. So it'll be a nice drive home afterwards. So
yeah,
but yeah,
I get through the tunnel.
yeah. Two pair had to take a quick phone call real quick. He'll be back to join us to talk about the schedule. But Shane, what do you see? What are your initial thoughts on this football schedule? And in chat box, if you're watching, please definitely chime in. We'd love to have you. So, but
I see revenge for Bearden. Maryville's back to where they are. We might as well just, I hate saying it, but if Maryville's back to the way they are, we already know. It's okay, well, there's L. I'm curious how Alcoa will be. It's always a close one. Other than that, this is a very, very favorable schedule for us.
I agree with it. I mean, if I had to, what's up, Mark? How you doing, bud? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you soon. So, shout out to my boy Mark Machado. I'm looking at it too, Shane, and I mean, with if I had to like flip a coin right now, I'd go 8-2. I'd go 8-2 right now. With the losses being Maryville and Alcoa at the moment, just because that's who beat us last year. The Bearden game could have gone either way. So right now in that fringe, I like us as the favorites in the region. I really do. And good to see you too, buddy. Good to see you. So thanks for the love always. But yeah, I look at the region schedule, definitely different. I mean, you lose Heritage, but you gain William Blunt. The thing that stands out to me, Shane, everybody on this schedule is a playoff team.
Everybody made the playoffs.
Everybody made the playoffs in their respective regions last year. Campbell County. Campbell County didn't they? It was Clinton, Carnes, Lenore City, and Oak Ridge. Yeah, Campbell County did not make it. So Campbell County is the only team that did not make the playoffs on that schedule because Carnes and Clinton finished with the 3rd and 4th seed, if I'm not mistaken. So, but that being said, every team else is on the was a playoff team. Bearden had a deep run. Maryville had a deep run. Central got beat by Sevier County, who was the state champs. Alcoa won another state championship, now moving up to 4A. Halls, obviously, we took care of them in the playoffs. Clinton got to the playoffs. William Blunt lost to Maryville. No shame in that. Carnes got to the playoffs, and obviously Powell got beat by Sevier County like us en route for their state championship. Yeah. But that being said, 9 out of 10 teams are playoff teams. I mean, that's still got to be commendable at this point, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough schedule, but it's very favorable. I still think we'll pull out number 1 in our region. So
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. So yeah, for sure. I mean, totally do.
Yeah, the next time we'll still have to run through West. So
Oh yeah, no, and it will always run through West. I mean, honestly, and truth be told, I mean, I know a lot of football will be played, a lot of things have to go a certain way, but I really believe in this team, and I really think that they have a taste in their mouth that they don't like, and realistically, I think they want Sevier County. There's a good possibility that they will meet again, whether it's in the second or third round, depending on how things fall. And you have to go there this time. So maybe payback can be a nice dish served cold in the cold back there come
Yeah,
November. So, yeah.
yeah, that was a cold night on those sidelines.
Oh my God. And you know what bothered me the most is that it was colder that night than it really was the night of the state championships in Chattanooga. I mean, it was still
Yeah,
cold, but not frigid. I mean, it was the temperature said 35 degrees. You could lie to me with that wind chill that it was more
oh,
degrees
yeah.
that night in November.
I
So
mean,
it's just
I've worked in some cold days recently, but that was a cold night. Like I was not comfortable
yeah,
at all.
no. It was a cold night. It just was one of those nights that just and then it started snowing at the end of the game, which I'll never forget. Like that was
Yeah,
just poetic that flurries started coming down in November of all things. And then we have a mini snowmageddon just a few days ago. It canceled the West Catholic basketball game, which I don't think they're going to make up at this point because it's not a district game. But
yeah,
truth be told, I just hope that we don't have any more bad weather. So we don't have a repeat of what happened last year with the poor basketball team getting
yeah.
messed up.
I think Bearden was supposed to play Greenville. I think.
I believe they were.
And,
Yes. Yep.
my daughter has class, or one of her teacher is Bearden's basketball coach. She said she about to say he was pissed. So these coaches get pissed when these games get canceled because of the weather.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because you need the reps. You need the reps, and
Yeah,
and not to mention, I mean, playoffs are right around the corner. I mean, we're now in the full swing of the the district, and it's going to be. Two pair. Wanted to ask you, Bud, what were your thoughts on the West football schedule? 9 out of the 10 teams were in the playoffs this past year. So, look, check that out. I mean, there is a bye week in there. The Powell game is senior night. Carnes is homecoming at the end of the year. So we're a very road heavy schedule at the beginning compared to at the end.
Yeah, I really like the fact that you had Bearden at home this year. You got Bearden at home. I think Maryville is always going to be a tough challenge. I just think they play us better than most teams. Alcoa, you get them at home. You get them at home. They're losing a lot, but they also still have a lot. Um, Campbell County away. I think we played Campbell County pretty well when we do see them. Halls has always been a tough matchup for us, but we find a way to beat those guys. And Clinton is just trying to they're trying to get back to what they used to be. Um, yeah, like the corns at homecoming, I like that. And then Pal is always in our road to get to go in the state. You know what I'm saying? It always is you got to go through Pal sometimes when you see them. But no,
Yeah.
all in all, the game that I'm intrigued about is the William Blunt game away.
What intrigues you about that one, two pair? I mean, they are replacing Heritage in our district and so forth. So
Yeah, with them replacing Heritage, I just think that going away to Blunt County, that's a tough place. You know what I'm saying, to play it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those games that I feel like the way it's meshed in between, you can take William Blunt, you can take William Blunt for granted.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah, and it's a region game. I mean, all of them are going to be important. The Powell West game I found out is going to be the last rivalry Thursday game. It's going to be played the day before Halloween on the 30th. So going to be very intriguing how that plays out because more times than not, that is for the region championship and that one seed. What's intriguing this year about it is that if West goes to on to win the first 2 rounds, there's a potential to play Sevier County in a rematch in that third round. Only this time we have to go there as opposed to them coming to us, unless Sevier County gets beat in the second round by a Powell or someone like that. So there's that possibility as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that it can be really big too. I'm really interested in seeing how Bearden responds to replacing a lot of the talent they have, because they got some talent over there.
Yeah, hey, Shane, I saw Drew Parrott got offered by Carson Newman in Tusculum. I don't know where he's going to go, but that guy was like the heart of the team for Bearden, and they had a very, very senior class that just was very special to them. And
Yeah,
it looks like, I mean, you can bring people in, but is it the heart that's been there, that really fought through the rebuilding years, and made them a team that was a contender again?
yeah. I mean, that was my last group of players. So I will definitely say Drew is the heart and soul of that team. Amazing kid, amazing athlete, amazing person. So wish him the best of luck. Yeah. So
Yeah.
hopefully he gets to go continue on his athletic journey, whether it's here in football or basketball or both. Who knows? Kick him to do both sports, and he can run really, really fast.
Well, he definitely saved their season when Mississippi went down with that injury and so forth when he stepped in at quarterback.
I still wish he got to finish out the season as the quarterback. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
He led that team for pretty much 4 years. But
Yeah.
they went their route. But
Yep.
looks like
did.
Drew's going to have opportunity to play further down the road. So
Absolutely. Well, that being said, two pair. Obviously we'll have a lot more to talk about football as we get closer, but let's talk some basketball, baby. We had some games last week. Let's start off with that big win over Mo. Was it Mo East or Mo West? I think I was wrong. I think it was Mo East. Let me fix that real quick. Or Mo
Mo
West.
West,
Yeah, it was the
Mo
Trojans,
West. I think it was
not
Mo
the
West.
Canes. It was
Mo
the
West.
it was the Trojans, not the Canes, from Morristown. So let me fix that real quick. But man, Big Devin, 29 points, Kevin Jack 14. I mean, that was a big win. Getting back in the stretch of things right off of Christmas break and off them 2 tournaments. What did you see in that game?
Mm-hmm.
I think you even said the refs even called it a little weird and so forth like that. It was like a lot of ticky tack fouls being called. I'm
No,
sorry.
that would have been the AE game.
That
The
was the
AE
AE.
game was the one that called it.
Okay.
That Yeah, the
And
AE game is the
Devin
one
had
that called a
foul
little bit
trouble.
weird. Yeah, Devin had foul trouble in the AE game. Now this game, I will say, Kevin Jack really asserted himself. I thought that they were dominant. I sent you those scores and everything, right?
You
Or
did.
you had
Yeah.
already got
Yeah.
those. You had already got them.
I sure did. So yeah.
But no, Devin Martin has just been on a real tear. Like, he's really showing everybody that he's the best player in the state. He's one of the best players in the city. And on any given night, he can erupt for 20, 25, 10, 3. He's really doing it all. And what you got with Kevin Jack is you got to have 14 to 15 from Kevin Jack on any given night. And I think a lot of colleges, like the Roane States, the Johnson Universities, the Pellissippi States, those schools are looking at Kevin Jack by the way he's been performing with guys being hurt. He's had to be that anchor of, 14 to 15 points a game is where you need Kevin Jack to be for this team to get where they need to go. And Devin has just been playing incredible. But what I like is I like the way Coach Eggleston is using this rotation, because he's using this rotation at smart times where Captain Jack Keefe, he's on the floor. He's been a real difference maker on that second unit. Like the second unit has been really well for West. Like Kalu Fofana, the Prince of Zamunda, he's really played well. And I love what he's doing.
Shane, I want you to get in on this. How imposing is it that the fact that the front court is pretty much giving you almost 44 points a game right there? Thing that I talked about in the beginning of the season. Too many missed layups, too being missed that when you make those points you're closer to victory. I mean, how imposing is that your front court is able to give pretty much a guaranteed 40 plus points a game?
Yeah, I mean, the opposing teams are about to, you're not your own way to shut them down. Like, you're getting 44 points on the front court. I mean, holy, you don't see that at this level unless you're a team that's well coached and the team's working on great chemistry. So it's just I don't even know how to coach against it. All right, how are we gonna shut this down? Because at any point, like if you try that, then you're just gonna start feeding it out around. So I mean, it's a blessing to have for us.
Absolutely. And two pair, I wanted to ask you this, man. So let's talk about that West AE game last week. I mean, both these teams played each other in the Ville tournament, and West imposed their will. No pun intended. But this game was different, and Devin was fighting some foul trouble. There was a lot of ticky-tack fouls. But tell us about the performance of Jalen Thrill Hill, who put that team on his back and said, "We ain't."
Yeah, man. The performance of Jalen Hill was just incredible. He dictated the pace of that game. When I say he dictated the pace of that game, it was just in a flow for him, and everything just felt like they were. My bad. Is my mic's on and everything, right? My fault.
Yeah.
I didn't. Am I going in and out?
No.
Oh, okay. No. So, oh, okay. I thought my mic was going out or I was buffering because man, I had technical difficulties earlier. But uh, what I was saying is the way Jalen Hill dictated the pace of that game. The 30 points when Devin got in foul trouble, it was just like he turned on the clock and it was go. And when Devin got back in the game, I would say around the second half, everybody seemed a little bit more composed. Kevin Jack, like I said, Kevin Jack's got to be anywhere to 11 to 15 points. Robert Schuler was big. Robert Schuler seized the moment. And when you got a guy like Jalen Hill rolling, like it just was rolling. No matter what he did, he had the ball on the string. And like I said, that second unit of Jack Keefe leading those guys in that second charge, Kalu Fofana, that second unit is providing the stability that you need to make a deep run in March.
That's huge. That's huge. I did want to kind of skip ahead to last night. West went on the road for a big district win against Farragut.
Mm-hmm.
Withstood the 3-point shooting of the great Dom Van Acker from the
We
famous
love the
One Eye.
Van Ackers.
The Van Ackers.
The Van
Yes.
Ackers.
The
The
Van
Van
Ackers.
Ackers.
But realistically, Devin Martin last night, 32 points, 7 rebounds, 4 blocks. He was 14 of 15. That was his shooting line last night, by the way. Robert Schuler threw in 14 points. There's Kevin Jack with 12. Jalen pacing it all with 9 points and probably a ton of assists. But the thing of it is the trend that I'm noticing, and I've said this all year, is that when West scores 70 points or more, they are undefeated on the season. When they don't get to that 70 mark, that's where your 3 losses have been. And we're only talking by a total of points. That's think about that. 10 total points is the difference between this West team being undefeated and with the 3 losses. Lipscomb was a close loss, Bearden was a close loss, Sevier County was a heartbreaker, and unfortunately, it's no big secret, but now Reese Clark is out for the year with a torn ACL. We want to wish you a speedy recovery, Reese. We hate that happened to you your senior year, brother, because we know you'd be cooking out there and having all the fun with your brothers. But your moral support is
Man,
definitely
he was on a tear.
He was. He was. So I hate it. I hate it to see that
He
happen.
was definitely on the tear. He was on the tear. And I told him as soon as he gets cleared, we are going in overdrive. I feel like he would be beneficial to a lot of programs in the southeast, for as for his college basketball. He's got that. He's got that level of he's 6'1", 6'2", but he plays like he's 6'5",
Mm-hmm.
and you need those guys. And I think he's gonna be a hell of a player on the next level, and I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see him on the next level.
I agree. I agree. Shane, what's your thoughts on that? The theme with this team, kind of like what we talked about with football. When football scored 30 or more, they were a lock to win. When they didn't get to that point, obviously they lost. When you look at the basketball team, very 70s that magic number, obviously because more points are scored in basketball. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
I'd like to see it come down a little bit. 70's a lot for a high school game. I personally think. But I mean, if we're scoring a 70, I mean, obviously we're doing something right. But you would want to see it where, I don't know, if we're breaking like 55, we're putting teams out. So I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it where not be so high of okay, we got to score 70 to ensure a win. Maybe it's just a lot to score for a high school team.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But you're getting 44
These dudes scoring bunches though.
court, so I mean, everybody's only going to come up with 30, but I would think if we could come up about just at the 50 mark where we already start putting teams away, then at 7, it made me feel a bit more comfortable, I think.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see like where you've got a gun and shoot the whole time just to get to that magic number. They're
playing. They can play half court.
Yeah.
How's the free throw shooting doing now, Tupper? Because it was kind of an ugly situation in December that we were talking about, especially in that Sevier County and Bearden losses. Has that?
I think they've honed in on it.
That's good.
I feel like they've honed in on it, and I really think when you talk about 70 points with this lineup and just watching them, you feel really assured if they get 70, you can book it. Like if they're scoring 70, they're getting Robert Schuler in the mix. Well, like I said, Robert Schuler has been the guy that has kind of filled in for Reese because you about 17, 18. Sometimes Reese could get you 20. Just the way he was coming on last year, being the MVP of that Heritage tournament that we covered last year, and just the way he was coming into his own. And I think that injury may have helped Robert Schuler for going into next year because you're doing this as a junior with a senior laden team. He is the man next year. Like, no ifs, ands about it. He's going to be the guy. And I think I feel more confident when this team scores 70 because when they've scored 70, have they ever lost?
No, they haven't. They're undefeated. When it's 70 or more, they're undefeated. It's that under 70 that has been the dread, honestly. Yeah.
That is, yeah. And that's why I said with this lineup, like, that's why I say I encourage people, please come to these games because you're never going to see another senior class like the one you saw at like this West senior class has been putting a belt to ass. Like that was a belt to ass to get against Farragut. On the road, you put up 70. Like, I got to give a tremendous kudos to this coaching staff: Ryan Woolard, Michael Dime Davis, Tyrone T. Patterson, Chad Brooks, who is doing dual work as a football coach as well. Like, our coaching staff has just been phenomenal. And the staff that Eggleston has assembled since he's become head coach is to why these guys are where they're at. Like, Tyrone Patterson has helped Kevin Jacks play immensely. You can tell. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Both guys are similar players. When Tyrone Patterson was at West, he was exactly what Kevin Jack was, but he was more of a stretch 4, stretch 3 type guy that we needed on those teams. And, he grew up through West. You know what I'm saying? For Tyrone Patterson to come back after college and be an assistant, Michael Dime Davis was on those early Aubin Kapor, no, Coach Kessler staffs. He was on those teams, and he was just a fixture at guard and one of those guys who earned the moniker Michael Dime Davis. And Ryan Woolard, he's been around the program for a long time. You have those guys around your program, and that's why this team is successful. And that's why I say when you look at 70 points, it can be done with this squad.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, and the other thing too that I think is kind of intriguing too with this group in particular. This is a hard district. We've talked about that, and here's what you got coming up. You got Hardin Valley at home, which I hope people show up. No excuses. Friday night,
Mm-hmm.
need to pack the house. Need to win that one. Maryville, we owe them one. They whipped our ass last year a couple of times. We owe them an ass whipping. We do. And I want that next Tuesday at Maryville. Then you've got another home game against William Blunt, who's down this year. But here's the thing, even though they're down, they won the district tournament last year, so they're the defending district tournament champs. And we beat them twice last year. So you need to win that one. And
It
then,
sucks to say that. It
yeah,
sucks to say
it does suck to
that.
say that because we were better than them. I mean, we owned them both times we
Yeah.
played them. But that being said,
I feel like we got to win the district for the 25th anniversary. We got to
oh,
do it this year.
we
Like,
do, we do.
if there's a year to do it, this would be the year to do it.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too. That week of January 28th, that return game against Bearden, in my opinion, you got to win that one. And that way, if we win that one, if we've got a better record than they do, we get that one seed in the district tournament. It's all about the seeding purposes. Now,
Mhm.
say this much. I will say this much too, Pair. Is January 31st when Farragut comes back to play West, is that going to be the night that we honor the district tournament team? Is that still against Farragut? What night is that, by the way?
We need to get this plan because we got to reach out to all the guys.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we need to get with Coach. We need to get with Paul Romero and see
yeah.
when that's going to happen.
Maybe we can
Because
talk to him
more than
Friday.
anything, yeah, let's try to orchestrate it.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's try
Because
to
we need to see
orchestrate it.
if we can see if anybody's in town to honor that team, and it is the 25th anniversary of that district tournament championship team. So we've definitely got to honor them, and it'd be nice to do it, at halftime of the Farragut game or in between the boys and
Because
the
I know
girls.
Andy's in town. I know Andy's in town. I know Stu's in town. Mike Morrow, I see Bubba Childress every so often. Alton's still in town. Troy should still be in town. Mike Maddox may be in Arizona
Gotcha.
now. I don't know where Mike Maddox is now.
Yeah.
But
Where's
yeah,
Spencer
I need
Davis
to
at?
look up where Mike Maddox is.
Where's Spencer Davis
Spencer
at?
Davis should be in the city.
He should be
Spencer
okay.
Davis should be in the city. I need to. I just don't have. I haven't talked to Spence in a long time. I think Jordan Smith has just moved back not too long ago because Jordan was in Africa for a while.
Oh wow, good for him. Shoot. So okay.
So,
Well,
but
we
yeah,
need
we
to
just
get
need to
that.
get the
We need to
word
get
out
that
to those
organized.
guys.
Yeah, we need to get
Oh,
that organized.
Stephen Harmon's still here.
Harmon's still in town. Yeah.
I don't know if Tom Carmichael. Yeah, Tom Carmichael.
Well,
Tom
and the thing
Carmichael's
is,
still in town. I haven't talked to Colin in years. I
yeah,
haven't seen Colin in years.
yeah. Colin's been kind of missing in action, from what I understand. So, I will say this: you've got 3 home games left after this Friday to make it work, and that would be against either Maryville February 11th, Farragut January 31st. Obviously, William Blunt the William Blunt game would be too soon. So we've got 2 weeks to maybe try to get this organized. And if they can't do it before the Farragut game, maybe do it before the Maryville game on February 11th. But that might be senior night, so being the last home game, unless they try to do another home game before the district tournament. That's just not on the schedule at the moment. So.
Mhm.
But but we got to see about doing something if we can to honor them. So it'd be pretty cool. So
Absolutely. Definitely would
yeah.
be.
So real quick, we got Hardin Valley on Friday, Maryville next Tuesday, and then obviously William Blunt next Friday. Those are the next 3 games. You take care of those 3 in the district, it sets up a hell of a game, Shane, on Tuesday, the 28th at Bearden. They won the first one. The second time around, what do you think? Because both teams seem to be really playing some good ball right now. I mean, Bearden beat Maryville by 30 plus points last night.
That Beard team is dangerous late in the season. So, but I haven't watched enough basketball this year. I'm slacking on who I've watched, but dominate a team like Maryville by almost 40 points, go wire to wire, blowing them out. We're going to be clicking on all cylinders offensively and shut them down defensively real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. And we just got to stay healthy. That's the other thing. We've learned to play without Reese now. I think it was still fresh to try to play without him. And now everybody seems to pair to know their roles. So I'm more optimistic this go around, but this district is a bloodbath and you got to take care of business, whether you're at home or on the road. What say you about that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And just the way they've been playing, I think those Christmas tournaments really helped them. You know what I'm saying? You gotta navigate your way through a long season. And the way they go on the road and beat an Admiral team with the Van Acker kid, and they still got talent from last year that play well. But this Friday night, Hardin Valley, you should really lay the smack down. Like, I don't know if Hardin Valley's got enough to hang with us right now. I really think we're playing on a high level. Like, our guys are playing on a very high level right now.
Yeah. And we owe them one, because last year there was that game that happened. It was a makeup snow game, and we fouled them on a half court heave. We were up by 2 points. It was probably the worst call I've seen from an official. Instead of swallowing his whistle, they call a foul at half court. He threw up a prayer. He makes 3 free throws. They end up winning by 1 point. And I feel like that loss really hurt West going into that district tournament and that region tournament, of why the slump happened and so forth. If they had won that one, maybe it's a different story, especially when they were the superior team last year. That being said, I almost call this like a revenge tour. I don't like to call it that, but I'm going to call it that, because you owe some teams last year that took a lot of your glory. And it starts this Friday against Hardin Valley. You already avenged Farragut, because remember, Farragut upset us last year at home. So we can't let that happen again when they come back in a couple weeks. But at least you went over there and dominated them. You got to take care of Hardin Valley, and then you got to go to Maryville and finally get that one off your back, because that's a team that has really given you guys some problems the last couple years, and you've been right there with them. So you've got to get that monkey off your back, especially when they looked very vulnerable last night against a Bearden team that you're neck and neck with right now, in my opinion.
Yeah. You really gotta show what you were known to do. You know what I mean? Show what you were known to do. And I feel like this class right now, they're at that put up or shut up stage in their senior year where, winning these Christmas tournaments are cool, but we need some of that hardware at the end of March. And I feel like right now we got to be on pace to do that. Like, it's got to be a sense of urgency with this senior class, and you've been seeing it with the way Jalen Hill has played. Like that Austin East game might be the signature Jalen Hill game of his career. 30 points against those group of guards from Austin East, and they're replacing a lot. That is probably going to be the highlight game of this season for me. That was the game that told me that he's one of the better guards in the city and one of the better guards in the state.
Yeah, and I'm just excited for. We know what this team's capable of, and they are starting to believe. And if they can navigate the rest of this schedule, they will be ready. Prime ready, honestly, and so forth. Because realistically, I think Oak Ridge has a nice team over there on the other side. But in terms of some of the other contenders, I don't think that any of those teams could be in West's league. So if West gets a high enough district, wins the district regular season and wins the district tournament and has that top seed going into the region, there's a very, very good possibility they can get to sub-state, but they've got to continue to believe, continue to work, and want it more. That's because they've worked their asses off, and they need to get that taken care of. Shane, anything else? You mentioned the fact also that you've not been able to watch some basketball. I think a lot of that has to do with you don't have Diamond Clear Media. You don't have that luxury, especially when you're sick and you can't go to these games and, they're at weird times. I mean, that's what's missing too, Per. And you and I have talked privately off that the media presence needs to be there to showcase these games for these kids because there's some damn good talent in this area.
But you at least get like a game a week. Like there's enough around here where we should have at least one full-on televised game.
I agree with that. And especially if the Diamond Clear Media is there for the football, I mean, you can't sit
they've done basketball in the past because I've watched basketball games on Diamond Clear.
I have. Yeah, I have too. Yeah. I just don't know why why it's not as prevalent as football is. Football, you have a few games and you can go back and watch, and it'd be nice to watch some of these matchups and so forth. So that's the trouble too. But
I mean, they're showing.
That's why we're gonna start Friday Night Hoops, man. We're gonna be the first ones to break brand. We're gonna start it. Shout out to Mark Packer.
Yep. We're gonna try to start it, and link it with Rebels with a Cause and so forth, because it would be amazing to be the Friday Night Hoops game, commentators. That would be amazing. So for sure. So absolutely. Real good, talking about basketball. Want to switch gears a little bit to college football. Obviously, we got the big national championship game in Atlanta, Notre Dame versus Ohio State. Technically, the number 7 and the number 8 seed. Who would have thought it? But, that's why they play the games. On paper, nobody's really giving Notre Dame a chance. But, I've picked against them for a few games now, and they've proved me wrong. So I wouldn't be surprised if they won it. But this Ohio State team is the best team money can buy. $20 million for some of these players and coaches. Guys, what's your thoughts on this game? Is this game going to be a good game, or is this going to be a runaway for Ohio State in Atlanta?
It's a runaway for Ohio State. Everybody has hit a buzzsaw when it's coming to Ohio State. These playoffs, like, we didn't expect to get blown out. We didn't expect Oregon to get blown out. Freaking, who else did they play?
Texas. Texas they beat last Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's just been – it's like the playoffs of the Ohio State Invitational.
Yeah.
When I'm turning games off because it's just that bad is ridiculous.
I almost sense that it's like they care now more than they did as they were going through the Big Ten season. I mean, I just can't believe this team lost to Michigan. I still and they were at home. I mean, forget this plant flag thing. I mean, they looked horrendous in that game. I don't know if they had too much turkey.
They didn't impress me all season. And then
that was the turning point of their season, though. That was the turning point of their season.
Yep.
That was the turning point of their season. When they lost to Michigan, that was the turning point of their season because the whole Tennessee trolling them with the more fans being there. They said all that. We're gonna embarrass you to win this game right here in your face. They sent the message, they sent the message to America that game. Then the Georgia game, where they out physicaled Georgia, scored 17 points in 54 seconds. Like these dudes.
Oh, you're talking about Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. My bad. Yeah. But I'm saying Ohio State, Notre Dame, they've had the most to prove in those games. Like the way Notre Dame looked against Penn State, the way Notre Dame looked against Georgia, the way Ohio State has looked throughout this tournament. Oregon, they smacked Oregon. It wasn't even close. Mm-hmm. Like that was a snoozer. That game was over in the third quarter.
Like I didn't feel as bad for Tennessee's loss after what they did to Oregon.
I didn't either. I agree with that.
I was like, okay. So we didn't play bad football. They're just playing really, really good football.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. If Notre Dame somehow pulls this off on Monday night, the fact that they had to basically beat 3 of the Big Ten teams to do it, Indiana, Penn State, and Ohio State, throw in a wounded Georgia. But I think we can all agree, though, is if Carson Beck doesn't get hurt in that game, Georgia's probably in this game against Ohio State. I maybe I'm wrong, maybe I am, but I just think that Georgia was a complete different team without Carson Beck. They were, but at the same time, you play who you play. And Notre Dame, though, for the love of God, I mean, they are right there. They beat Indiana. They found a way against Penn State. Do they find another way against Ohio State? I mean, that's going to be. I don't know what Al Golden has up his sleeve as defensive coordinator for Notre Dame against Chip Kelly. That's going to be the chess match. But I don't think Notre Dame has anybody that can cover Jeremiah Smith for Ohio State. I mean, I know Texas kind of neutralized him playing 2 high safeties and everything, but for the most part, the Ohio State running backs won that one. So Notre Dame's going to have to pick their poison. Do you load up the box and stop Ohio State's tailbacks, or do you play too high to contain Jeremiah from the big play?
That is the question. That is the question of the night. You know what I'm saying? You really, you better have overtop help.
I don't think they have the speed to stay with Ohio State. I don't
either.
I mean, they would have to make it a very slow, trudging game. And then here's the thing: Ohio State's defense, who I thought was very mediocre, they've got it together. So I don't know what I thought.
They've came a long way.
Yeah, they have.
They've been shutting teams down, and the offense is scoring quick. So it's been the defense that's been out there the most, and they're literally just destroying you. Like we saw what they did to us. We saw what they did to Oregon. We saw what they did to Texas. I mean,
were you guys surprised?
That gave them a friggin'. It was like, okay, like there could be a bit of a game, but shit. I mean, I don't think Notre Dame can keep up with Ohio State. I think you can't coach speed, and Ohio State's got it.
Let me ask you guys this. Were you surprised Sarkisian stayed with Ewers as long as he did in that game? Are you surprised they didn't throw Arch out there?
I thought they would have thrown Arch out there.
Played. How many has he been in?
Arch? I mean, he really hasn't played.
He's played sparingly.
Since Ewers got back from the injury.
He's been in more than 4 games.
Yeah, he did because Ewers was out for 4 games with that injury before he came back. So they burned the red shirt. Yeah. But I was just shocked. I mean, I was very surprised how that game went. So.
Well, it's gonna be the Arch.
I'm surprised how that game went. Yeah, because Quinn Ewers is going to the draft. So what I was really surprised with, though, what I was really surprised with in that game is Archie Manning not being um called in. That's what really confused me about that game is like you're down to your, you know what I'm saying, your last quarter and you haven't even thought about making a change at quarterback, cuz it was like they were killing them on the wheel routes every time, but you really needed another spark because I felt like maybe Archie could have done it. Maybe Arch could have done it. It was just looking at they couldn't hit on explosive plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they could, and receivers were dropping balls, Shane, which was inexcusable. That one guy had that wide open pass and dropped it. He was ready to run before he even caught the damn ball
Yeah.
on a huge third down that changed the whole momentum of that game. So yeah, I mean that's just. And then when they did the scoop and the fumble, they couldn't get it in from the 1 yard line. I mean that sucked. I just couldn't believe that. So yeah. All that money, all that NIL beef money they were paying that offensive line for Texas, and they got pushed back off the ball. Couldn't get it in on the 1 yard line. Then got cute. What happened to the days when you have it on the 1 yard line? Try to get it in 4 times. Honestly, why do you got to get cute? Seriously.
It makes no sense. Just line up in the eye, have a
Yes.
fullback, go over the top. It's that simple.
Yes. Tush push the guy in. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it worked for Matt Leinart when Reggie Bush pushed him in.
Yes.
That's way back in the day.
I don't get it.
That's actually a long time ago. Crap.
Yeah, I don't get it. I think Ohio State wins, guys. I mean, I really do.
I think the win convincingly. I think we're all pissed off that we stayed up late Monday night for a blowout.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah. So, but
I'd love to see a game where we're all glued to our TVs and it's reminiscent of that Texas USC game back in
2006. Yep. January 2006. So,
I had to think which deployment was on. Was I a dad
yet? All I remember is Vince Young was a god that night, and it was the fall of Troy. It really was.
I remember waking up 0 dark 30 and going to our little hut that we had and watching the game on AFN, which is the Armed Forces Network. And I'm talking about we were up at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning to watch this game.
Wow.
Maybe a little bit later, but it was still like the chow hall was not open for breakfast yet. Like the game finished, and then we went to breakfast, and then we still had we're in the middle of Iraq and on deployment. But man, that's probably the greatest college football game I've ever watched.
You know what's crazy too, Pear? If Notre Dame wins this game against Ohio State, it'll be their first national title since 1988. Lou Holtz was coaching Notre Dame.
When did they win 89?
No, Miami won in 89. Notre Dame won in 88. So
That's right. Notre Dame 88, Miami 89, then Miami 91 too, right?
Miami 91. Yep. Yeah, they split with
Washington. That's right. Because 90 they lost to BYU to open the season, and then the next year they just went crazy.
Yeah, and BYU won the national title that year with Colorado. But Colorado and BYU, I think.
No, it was Georgia Tech and Colorado.
Wow, that's right, they did. Yeah,
Georgia Tech. Yeah, you remember that damn Georgia Tech team. That was I think that's their last title. Was 1990. That was Bobby Ross and those guys.
Bobby Ross, yes.
They helped Bobby Ross get a job for the Chargers and the Lions.
They did
because he wanted. He wanted Georgia Tech. Like, for real. You know what I'm saying? The days of that happening in our lifetime again, like, dude, Georgia Tech's never going to win a national. Like, that's not going to happen again for a long. The way they won that title, like, they had to beat Virginia. They had to beat Herman Moore, Chris Slade. They had to beat NFL guys back then. This Notre Dame team, though, I'm not going to front. I think they got a shot. I think they really got a shot.
Listen,
I think both teams got a shot.
they've proved.
I just don't want a team that's not even in a conference winning the national title.
It does give them an excuse, doesn't it, Shane? It really does give them the excuse that they can play whoever, and they've won this in the first year. You're
Yeah,
right.
all we do is like, oh, all we see is the at-large bid and have an undefeated season, and we're fine. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so against I don't give a damn if you win your conference championship because I think there was flaws in it this year. But damn it, Notre Dame's got to be in a conference. At least be in the conference and stop handpicking your schedule. Ooh, wow, you played USC. What do you freaking do?
That wasn't the Matt Leinart USC, I'll tell you that much. So it wasn't. Wasn't even the damn Caleb Williams USC. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah, man, that's.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll definitely see what happens.
But I like the fact that we expanded to 12. But I just would have loved to see better football games. I think this. I mean, the NFL, the wild card round. Yeah, like between this and the wild card round, I am just like, I was put to sleep, except for that Tampa Bay and Washington game was the game. That was the best game of the week. That was great.
Thank God for it. Thank God for it, because that Vikings game was horrible. So was that
Horrible.
the Steelers Ravens game put me to sleep Saturday night. I mean, that was just horrible stuff. So yeah. I mean, the Broncos got blown off the field by the Bills. So I mean, oh my goodness, yeah, they were. I'm hoping the games are better this week. I think you'll have some better matchups, but. Guys, can I just say this out loud? Can anybody beat the Chiefs? Can anybody beat the Chiefs? That's really the question.
Yeah. You know who can beat the Chiefs?
Who?
The Chiefs.
That's right. That's right.
The Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, I think Buffalo or Baltimore. Buffalo or Baltimore, they would have the only chance.
And
I just don't. I don't think a team in the NFC. I don't think a team in the NFC can beat them.
You don't think the Lions are?
I just don't.
Yeah. I mean, Shane, what do you
think? If anybody in the NFC, I give the Lions a chance because I feel like everybody in America would be rooting for them.
The only team I can think of that can beat them. Maybe the Bills. Maybe. All depends on
which Josh Allen shows up. So
it's bad that I'm starting to get the same hatred for the Chiefs I used to have for the Patriots.
Oh, I've been there. I
love Andy Reid as a coach.
Yeah. Well, Michael.
The reason I might hate the Chiefs is solely because of Taylor Swift. Because every time I turn on a game, it's all I freaking hear. 2 or 3 seasons, however long it's been.
Is that still the thing? I remember they just put it in our face last year a lot, but is it? I mean, maybe I've just not been watching.
I still see it on scrolling through TikTok and shit. So like, it's enough to still bother me.
Gotcha.
Because I want to watch football. I don't give a damn about who's dating who, and
I don't either.
Flat ass ain't got no fucking curvature to her body, man.
He said it out loud. He said it out loud. Way to go, Shane. Way to go.
Hey, all I'm saying is thick thighs save lives, and she ain't got shit. So.
Oh, give me them curves, baby. Give me them curves. The look. So shoot.
I need the jiggles, something to hang on to.
Hey, we're getting that Rebels After Dark thing. You know it's a new year, baby.
10:45. I've been out for like 3 weeks. So.
Hey, listen. No, I'm all about it, man. We want them curves, baby. We want them curves.
So. I need to see the wave when I hit from one side to the other.
Oh, I know. Listen, she's never done anything for me, and I still can't believe that all these guys have been with her, and they become a song. I mean, that's all they become a song when she's done.
Yeah.
The hell with that. So,
I mean, there's no way it's that good. There's no way. No freaking way.
Oh my goodness. So, mm, mm, mm,
Somebody asked me what can a skinny chick do for me? Absolutely nothing.
nothing, nothing, nothing. She ain't no Daisy. So there you go. She ain't no Daisy. Um, uh, listen, we talked a little NFL. I do want to talk some college hoops. It sucked what happened with the Vols last week against Florida, but the thing is this conference is so damn brutal. And
Oh, Zakai Ziegler broke the steal record tonight for Tennessee.
there you go. Way to go, Zakai Ziegler there. So I mean,
And
what was the final in that game, by the way, against
it
Georgia?
was set. I want to say it was. I saw it. I had pulled up. We won by 18 or 19.
Nice.
70 something to 50 something. So we pulled away. Had a 20-point lead, but 2 free throws at the end. So.
And that was a ranked Georgia team. They were ranked 23rd, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So, yeah.
First time we played a ranked Georgia team in a long time.
I figured as much. I mean, two-pair. The thing is that this SEC, we've talked about it. It's a bloodbath, man. I mean, they're talking about maybe they could get 13 bids this year in the NCAA tournament, breaking the 11 mark set by the Big East a few years back, or what have you. I mean, we knew that this was going to be a brutal schedule, but night in, night out, you've got to.
You want me to run down the list? You want me to run down the list of teams?
Please do. Please do.
All right. So let's start. Let's start right here. Florida smacks Tennessee. Tennessee smacks Arkansas. Arkansas shows you that they got some struggles and they need to get it together. I want to say Missouri beats Florida. Auburn, Janai Broome goes down with an injury, and I think they've only lost one game. Was it the Duke?
Yep, that's it.
They've only lost to Duke, and that was on the road to Duke.
Yeah.
Mississippi State is the team that I feel like you need to watch out, and the guy you need to watch out for on Mississippi State is Josh Hubbard. He is just a flat out baller. Now Texas A&M, they're pesky as hell. It feels like Wade Taylor has been in college for a very long time, and
hey man, Henry Coleman. I hate to stop you. Can I say this right now? And Shane, please.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Please chime in on this. This COVID shit is over. Like RJ Davis has been in college for a long time. I mean, there's no more years that nobody else needs. I see Jeremy Roach sucking it up for Baylor. I mean, these guys need to move the hell on. I'm sorry. Like,
move the hell on. Right now.
I saw Caleb Love in Arizona. I mean, he's still there hanging around.
Caleb Love, bro, you are still in college. There's a point. There's a point where guys are not going to make the money that they're making in college. And that's where I don't like the NIL. Because it's like, hey, now I'm at the point I'm ready for you to become a professional. Right now you're not a student athlete anymore. Because let me say why you're not a student athlete. Hey Shane, when's the last time you heard about anybody being academically ineligible? Take your time.
Pre-COVID.
James, when have you heard of anyone being academically ineligible? Since we've been doing this show, the year that we've been doing this show, we've not heard about anybody being academically ineligible.
Yeah.
Not once.
Not one. Not one. Not one.
You can't name a guy. I can't.
Can't name a female athlete either. So there you go. So throw that out there too.
Right. Was when it was the female, like the female, it would be where they're just not playing. They just want to leave the team. But you don't hear about the academically ineligible players that we used to hear about on a regular in art. Like when we were in college or when you were in the military. We always heard about that while we were in college or when you were in the military about people being academically ineligible, not being able to play in the games. Where is this era? That ain't happening because they're getting paid.
Yep. Yeah. I just still cannot believe that 3 people that played in the 2022 Final Four in Jeremy Roach, Caleb Love and damn RJ Davis are still playing college basketball 3 years later, and two of them aren't even on the same team anymore. So yeah, I mean, think about
How
that.
sad is that?
Oh,
How
it is. And
sad is
Baylor.
that?
You know who's the loser of the year so far? Baylor. All this money to Jeremy Roach and Norchad O'Meyer and all these guys to leave other teams. They got VJ Edgecombe, who's like top 5 pick right
Oh,
now, freshman, and they sucked it
Ed,
up.
Ed,
And Arizona ran them off the court last night.
Edgecombe is nice.
Yeah,
Edgecombe is nice.
yeah,
Edgecombe is nice though.
and I
He's
just can't
gonna
believe
be a
Scott
player in
Drew.
the league.
Yeah, I just can't believe Scott Drew's doing so bad with all that talent or whatever, because they put that team together. Maybe they make a run in the tournament like Ohio State did, but they have spent millions of dollars for that team, and it ain't doing it, man. It just ain't doing it. So yeah, and they got run off the
But I
court by
will say
Arizona.
this to Scott Drew. He built that team back from the ashes though.
Oh, he
'Cause
did.
that
No,
shit
he's
was
great.
bad.
Look who his father is. His
Baylor
father, man.
was a
Another
lost cause.
they were. They were. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Homer Drew.
Homer Drew. But yeah, but like I just look at some of these guys and it's like, man, move the hell on already. Gee whiz. I mean, they're gonna give that tight end from Miami a run for his money at this point, for how many years they've all been in school.
McCormick, man,
McCormick. So I mean he
bro,
had to be pried out
that's
of there. So damn. So mm,
that shit is really bad though. You should not still be in college this long. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
no.
Just for me, like I understand if you're working, like if you work full time and you're in college, understandable. But bro, you
You
guys
are.
are
Go ahead and go. If you're not gonna make it pro, go overseas and go make your money there.
Or the G League. I mean, the G League is there, right?
something.
Still? I mean,
Something, man. Like
great
my thing
chance.
is, you're content with not being a professional, so you want to get paid as a professional against amateurs when you know it's well past your time to be
Yeah,
in college basketball. It's
I
well
mean,
past your time to be in college football.
we got what? We got Fulky for what? 6 seasons?
Yeah,
Like it felt
because
like
you look at a guy.
for a decade.
Look at a guy like James Pierce. Look at a guy like James Pierce who declared today,
Prepare for the draft tonight.
as he should. He's a difference maker. If that dude falls to like Cincinnati, if that dude falls to like if he falls to teams that the lower level team, I mean not lower level teams, the teams that are in the playoffs, if guys like a James Pierce, what if James Pierce fell to the Kansas City Chiefs?
Oh man, I'd throw up. Throw up. Probably happen. I mean, there's a lot of dumbass teams, man. There's a lot of
Think about it. Think about it. Trey Smith is one of the best offensive guards, and who does he play for? Kansas City Chiefs.
He was a steal in the draft. He fell
Big steal.
so far, but God, he has been dominant ever since he got in the league.
I will say
Big
this
steal.
though. I will say this though.
Where's my old neighbors on the Chiefs also?
I'll say this about the Vols, and even the Lady Vols, man. Like, shout out to Kim Caldwell and what she's done with the Lady
Oh
Vols,
man,
man.
she's
I mean,
phenomenal. I
dude,
love
oh my
everything they are
God,
doing.
dude, they have a
Dude,
deal. They need to get
even in their losses, she talks as if you know what I'm saying. Like they left a lot out on the court. Like there's still more. And then in their wins, she's not satisfied. Like she has. It's very hard to replace a legend. Like, but the thing is, she's coming after like the Holly era, the Kelly Harper era. That was,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah. I
Like
mean, she's
you're
doing.
coming after
I still said this was the best thing that Tennessee could do was get away from
Yep,
the Tennessee.
the Pat Summit tree.
the family.
Yep.
You can't really call it a tree because only one coach.
Get away from the tree
Yeah.
because you're
This was the best thing they could
Yeah.
manage.
well no Mickey DeMoss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, can I say this?
Mick,
We've talked about this too, Pair, with when it comes to your Tar Heels. If Hubert don't get it together, does North Carolina make a big splash hire outside of the family? Because it's been everything underneath the Dean Smith tree, you know what I mean? That's been coaches there and so forth at this point. So,
Mhm.
but but realistically, Shane, you're right. No, they needed to get away from that. And she like, I mean, this goes back to Davis or Danny White, the athletic director, rather, I should say. I mean, he has made solid hires at this point, and this has been the like some of the best sports I can remember for the Vols since the late 90s when all those teams were doing something decent, whether it was Jerry Green and the men that
Mhm.
they were talked about. About. The baseball team with Delmonico had a couple nice seasons going to the World Series. Falmer and the football went, and got the national title. Lady Vols were doing their three-peat with the Shamiqua Holdsclaw and all that. This is the first time that I can remember that all these teams are competitive or in the conversation, and it's something special. And we should relish it and enjoy it because God, there were so many years of shit. There really was. So yeah, horrible.
We've gone through. I mean, they call it the decade of dysfunction, and it was a decade. It was a. And that's just talking about football. Like it was brutal as a team. Like, it was just brutal for years being a Tennessee fan. Like
Yeah, yeah, it was. I mean, I'd say
It was
basketball
brutal.
held its own. I mean, Shane would agree, or I think
you
you
know,
guys
the
would
only
agree.
rough one we had basketball was when we had Donnie Tyndall.
Yeah, that was the only bad one because
Because
Quanzo had
in
some
the
good players.
Clemson really wasn't too bad.
Yeah, Quanzo had some good players and put some guys in the league and everything. So yeah, I mean they were fun to watch. I'll tell you this, guys. Listen, I could be wrong or what have you. I know that it was a shame, and he'll be back. The kid that hurt for Auburn, and so forth. And I know they're the number one team in the country right now, but realistically, does anybody have any faith in Pearl that he won't choke again in the tournament? I'm not trying to be a hater here. I'm just saying that it's like.
Mm.
I mean, they've had teams just like this where they fall short or lose in an unexcusable game, like they did to Virginia in that tournament, and everything. So yeah,
I think it's gonna be tough for what I'm saying, him to shake that stigma because he's been to what, one Final Four.
one Final Four.
He's been to
Yes.
one Elite Eight. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's hard for them to shake that stigma. He's been in Sweet 16 a couple of times.
Yeah. He's had a couple
He's
early exits.
gotta be able to. He's
Yeah.
had a ton of early exits.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's had a ton of early exits.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
So he's got to he's got to be able to really rewrite the ship.
Yeah.
He's got to be
Well,
able to do it.
and like I was saying, like the men's team, the women's team, they're fun to watch. I expect deep runs from both of them. Maybe I'm just I'm into it. I'm into it because I think college football's now over pretty much, and now I'm in the full swing of college basketball. And you've got some really good teams. I mean, not just the SEC teams. You look at Iowa State; they looked good. They beat the hell out of Kansas tonight, and so forth. So, I mean, I'm just saying that it's going to be one of those years where you have some contenders, but I think it is going to be somebody different than Connecticut for once this year. I think you've got some really good teams and
Mm.
some contenders, and it's going to be a fun March when we get there. I really do. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool, man. I think we're gonna see some really good basketball being played, and the SEC is
Oof.
just, I mean, women's and men's. It is just like you like to say, a bloodbath
It
of
is
a
a bloodbath, baby. I love
conference.
it.
And
I mean,
there's a
and
plethora of teams.
there's a plethora of teams, and I'll tell you this:
A plethora.
It looks like the South Carolina women have got it together again. So that's a scary thing for the league.
Yeah.
So they've got their stuff together. So yeah, I mean,
Ooh,
Dawn's got a
yeah.
tough beast over there in Columbia. So yeah, they do. So great show
Great
tonight,
stuff,
guys.
guys.
Great show
Great
tonight, man.
show, man. Way to bring it, man. Way to bring it.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure, for sure.
hour and 18 minutes worth. We had technical difficulties, and then it sounded great.
It sounded great as always, baby. So,
Great show, guys.
parting thoughts before we sign off. So,
I think the NFL playoffs and its national championship game, and then shout out to the guy Ziegler, with
steals for
the
teams.
all-time leader in steals or assists.
Steals.
steals. Yep. Yep. No, the only thing I got is boys basketball. Keep doing your thing, baby. Keep doing it, and girls, keep trying for that first win. I know you got it in you somewhere. Could be this Friday night against Hardin Valley. It'd be nice to see. So you all keep playing hard, and Rebels football, keep working out in the weight room, and baseball to get ready to do your thing. And you know what it is, guys. It's always about that W. We always throw that W up. So that's what this show's all about. Rebels with a cause. So keep doing your thing, guys. Um, uh, Shane, parting thoughts, and two pair close us out, baby.
I'm just glad to be back. Missed y'all.
Miss you too, man. So
Just
Miss you too, brother.
for sure. Well, two pair close us out, baby. So we'll finish it out, man. Rebels with a cause.
Hey man, I know what it is. It's the one and only two pair Tate with the guys, Italian Stallion, Shane O'Mac. We are up out of here, man. Is Rebels with a cause, and the cause don't stop until the clock strikes 0. Throw the dubs up.